Hey, Steeler Nation. What a freaking game. Wow. Was that a tough one to get through? My goodness. Being on the road, West Coast, Steelers always seem to have trouble on the West Coast, but this week, prime time. Steelers always seem to do pretty good prime time. I know we've all been pretty hard on Levi Wallace these last couple weeks. It is time to give Levi Wallace the appreciation he deserves. 2 interceptions in a huge road game, in a game where TJ Watt still found a way to get a sack. Minka Fitzpatrick was absolutely hosed on that sack. Not a helmet-to-helmet contact sack at all. He's not going to get fined for that. It was an absolute crap call by the officials. Also, the 2-point conversion, a crap call by the officials on an uncatchable ball out of bounds, calling that pass interference on a play that was well defended and uncatchable. Absolutely atrocious. Guys, this is your show. I am here on the road games because I'm usually at the home games. I'm here to talk. It is your show, Kenny Beamer. I always know Kenny Beamer will be on the show. I don't know where you always are, Kenny, but you are always ready for me to run a show. And I love you for it, my friend. Let's effing go. This is big, guys. Steelers now 2-1 in the division. Steelers now tied for the lead in the division, going to Houston next week. Seeing the Ravens the following week. If we find a way to win in Houston next week, we are playing the Ravens the following week for number 1 in the division. Offense is finally starting to show some aptitude. I honestly say Matt Canada called a good game outside of the first quarter. First quarter was dog crap. He got much better after the first quarter. I loved the way he got Kenny Pickett on the edge for both moving the pocket and waggle plays to diminish what Crosby could do in the pass rush. That was big. That gave Kenny some confidence. He started hitting some plays that he normally didn't play. Guys, I was saying this to my wife earlier today. This offense is a 1984 Mark Malone offense. This is a deep attack offense, and if the deep attack doesn't work, we don't generate any offense. It's a Mark Malone offense. Kenny Pickett hit Austin deep, got a nice touchdown out of it. Outside of that, not a whole lot of touchdown aspect until we started hitting Pat Freiermuth down the middle of the field. Actually worked Pat Freiermuth into this game, had a screen, had an outside catch and run, had the touchdown. Big plays. Muth, we needed you today. Absolutely needed you today. And George Pickens had some nice big catches as well. Some of these plays, Pickens and Austin, you have to work your way back to the football like Deontay Johnson does, because those plays are hurting us on being able to extend some drives. Running game looked much better tonight. I know Collinsworth, we all hate him, but he called it right. Steelers finally started getting into some double teams. I'm still waiting for the guards to come across on poles on some of these plays. We have not been running that at all, and we need to, because that's how the Steelers generate offense, get the ball down the field. Guys, it's your show. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you see about the 2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers at the top of the AFC North right now. Caleb, DGAF show, Stryker, my guy. Love you, brother. Thanks for everything you do for the 3-point stance. Caleb, I love you. I love D. Gray. I love D. Gray when I had him on my show before you got him. Big D. Gray fan. But I will always support you in anything and everything you do. Let me know how you and D. Gray are feeling after this game. Let me know about the texts you guys had going back and forth, my friend, because Steeler Nation wants to hear about what a former offensive lineman for the Steelers has to say about a game where they started generating some offense, moving the chains, getting some good positive plays on first downs, and especially on the road. Like, we haven't been able to establish the run at all at home. It was interesting enough that we had our best game for running on the road. I want to hear about what D. Gray had to say in your chats, in your texts. Give us some inside info before your show, Caleb, because we know we're all Steeler Nation always turns into your show as well, my friend. Brian Brown, Stryker, defense, baby, love it. And Minka was hosed out of a sack. Absolutely agree with that. I said that at the top of the show. Horrible call. It's unfortunate that the referees did not at least get around and talk about that play, because that was in no way, shape, or form a foul, a finable offense, or a penalty. Absolutely horrible, horrible play call. Game would have been over earlier, but I thought that the 2-point conversion call for pass interference was even more egregious. That was the worst call of the game for me. A ball that was no chance of being caught on a play that was fairly well defended and lightly touched. I know he didn't turn around, but that ball was uncatchable. There was no way with a clean, without even a defender on him, he would not have caught that ball. No chance. No chance of him catching that ball. And that's why I was upset. Juice! Can't wait to see Pittsburgh Dad's video on this game. Hey, I'm just happy to see you win. Especially on the road against a hated rival. I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'll tell you one thing. Steelers had a big problem of beating the Raiders while they were in California and while Ben Roethlisberger was our quarterback. With Kenny Pickett, we're 2-0. Sink that in. This is a game I almost divorced my wife over. One of my biggest fights ever with my wife. It was the same year we lost to Tim Tebow. We lost to the Raiders that year. I went nuts at the end of that game because this game we shouldn't have lost. I was out of my mind. My wife tried to talk sense into me. I'm like, don't even effing talk to me when I'm this upset. And I threw stuff at her. We're still together. We're celebrating 20 years this year. But the Raiders almost made us get divorced back in 08. So either 08 or 10. It was one of those years we were up there, 11. It was a year we did not make the Super Bowl, but we were doing pretty well. Bray, welcome to the show. I've been an entire year to be able to say, see, I told you about Calvin Austin. Thank you, Bray. I love that. I always loved Calvin Austin's potential. I really have. As a punt returner, kick returner, he is what I expected him to be because he is what he was in college. Now that he's healthy and he's able to play and get open quickly, he's doing the plays that he needs to do to extensive plays, though I will state he's still young. He needs to work his way back to the football on plays where he's well defended. There's a couple of instances today where he could have extended the downs if he worked his way back to the football. You have to do that as a young player. Deontay Johnson always does that. That's why Austin is still, to me, a slot receiver, and Deontay Johnson will easily replace him again when he comes back of being the X. But I do like the potential of Calvin Austin. Will not diminish your opinion because it is spot frickin' on, Bray. Waiting an entire year. I know exactly what you're saying, my friend. I know exactly. You never have to apologize here. We're all celebrating the win. It's a big win. We're at the top of the NFC North. Tied with Cleveland, who we have the head-to-head advantage with. Tied with the Ravens. We got to talk about that Ravens game, guys. I have never seen, ever, since Justin Tucker has been their kicker, I have never seen an instance where Harbaugh was afraid to go for the kick inside of the 50-yard line in the fourth quarter or in overtime with Justin Tucker there. He was afraid to do it in overtime. That was Tucker's kick to win it. The fear got in him. Indy got another chance. And their kicker did what no kicker has ever done before in an NFL football game. Hit 4 kicks from 50 yards or more in an NFL football game Absolutely brilliant game out of Indy's kicker. I know I will immediately say, though, the broadcast team was exactly wrong when they said this was the most clutch performance they have ever seen in their history of the NFL, with Justin Tucker being on that football field as they said it. Absolutely wrong thing to say, but still an amazing game by an amazing kicker in his own right, a young one that can build on it, but Justin Tucker is the best ever at this moment. I will not say anything else. And it's tough for me having the second best kicker in the league, being the only second best kicker in the same division, because we have Tucker in the same division. But I love me some Boz. And Boz hit some long ones tonight to make sure that we were in the driver's seat. Still, just so everyone knows, Raiders never had the football tonight with a chance to tie or win that game. Actually, they did have a chance to tie there at the end. Never mind. But they didn't. With the last 12 seconds, yes, they did have a chance to tie that game. They did. I stand corrected. They were down by 8 with 12 seconds. Brilliant kick. Brilliant kick again by Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin's got to get his kudos, because a lot of you guys have been throwing hate to Percy Harvin. I know the kick before was not as good. Absolute brilliant kick. His last kick should have been our ball, because Boykin should have taken out the kick returner. If he took out the kick returner on that kick, we have the football. The game's over. But Wallace needed to get another interception, so I'm fine with that. Ian! Old heads in the house. Great to see you, Ian. How are you, my friend? They need to put teams away and not let them hang around. Guys, Ian, that game was really never in question. Really, it never was. We got up by 3 scores going into the third quarter. Even as they were driving down, I'm like, just eat clock, take as many plays as possible. It's going to be a tough game for them to come back for, even with 2 2-point conversions. Because 2 2-point conversions, in my opinion, are 4 scores. They got their 2. They were gifted that second one on the 2-point conversion where they shouldn't have been, but they did get it. I'll give them the kudos for that. But they were never in position to win this game. Really, they were never in position to win this game. They got that extra first down. Kudos to Najee. Kudos to freaking Matt Canada for calling that play off the blitz to get us that first down, to put us in a position where they only have the football with 12 seconds left. It should have been 19. He muffed it. It was 12 seconds since he muffed it. If Boykin hit the guy, game's over. But Wallace did what he needed to do for us to win that game. Yeah, Bray, absolutely horrible call. Completely agree. Brian Brown, my friend, good to see you. The Raiders were literally playing 11 in the box against the run. Why can't Matt Canada disguise the run better? That's why we went to that play action pass on that third down and short, got the easy conversion on that fourth down to push it to 1 score, 1 last possession under 20 seconds. That was it. I knew I knew the mathematics. 1 last possession under 20 seconds, under 2-minute warning, 1 timeout left. They're going to get 1 more possession under 20 seconds. We're going to run out the clock as much as we can, force our defense to win the game. I will take that against the highest paid defense in the league, Brian, every freaking time. Every time. And we did this game, and we got our win because our defense is going to win it for us every freaking time. They're only getting 80 yards, 90 yards, 90-some, 80-some yards. It's almost 90 yards off that muff. Under 20 seconds, I will take that against our defense every day when they have to score a touchdown. Absolutely every day. Because they're not scoring on this defense. Under 20 seconds, 80-plus yards, zero chance of scoring on this defense. Guys, this defense is for real. They haven't had a sack. Raiders did not let up a sack before today. What do we have, 4 or 5? TJ Watt got another. We have it. TJ Watt's a DPOY. By far. His pressure led to the first interception. Defensive player of the year, no question. None. He is the defensive player for September already before we play another game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bray, yeah, we know you're good. Could be a T-Rex sighting next week. Could be, Brian. Yeah, who we got in there? Oh, because you are calling Houston's center Green T-Rex, though it was A.Q. Shipley that actually had the nickname of T-Rex. And A.Q. Shipley lasted in the league longer than 10 years. So lots of props to the original T-Rex. Tomlin never actually called Green, the center Green, T-Rex, because his arms are longer than A.Q. Shipley's. A.Q. Shipley. Block, block, block. But A.Q. Shipley never hold either. He's got such tiny arms. He can never hold. Ravens can kiss it. Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely. I'm out. Good night, all, and go Steelers. Love you, Brian Brown. Thank you for your input. Guys, it's your show. It's your show. I'm going to put this up here quick on Steeler Nation, just so they know that we are live. Oh, there we go. There we go. Boop. And that way they can jump over here as well, because we are having such a good time. Where's my bill? Am I not logged in? Holy crap, I got to log in. Man, I had to reset my settings. Yeah, I'm Stryker. Log in. Log into Stryker. All right, I'm logged in. Posting a thread. Live on YouTube. Post Raiders. Come join us. www.youtube.com/Steeler Nation. All right, it's up. Coming back to you guys. It's our show. Bray, go Steelers. Good night. Good night, Bray. Thank you for your input. Good to see you on the show. Hope to see you on more. 901-2407. Great, great, great stuff. Does this redeem Canada or still keep him in the hot seat? I'll at least say this, Ian. I've been hard on Kenny Pickett up until this moment, Ian. And it's because until tonight, Kenny Pickett had never thrown more than one touchdown in a game. He got that long pass to Miles Austin, to Miles Austin? Austin, either way. And I told Steeler Nation thread, all the writers and podcasters, well, Kenny Pickett got his touchdown quota in for the evening. He's going to need more than one to win this game. And that's spot on what we needed. He got the second one to Muth. Great play. Cannot hurt him for that. This is by far Canada's best game. Is it above the line? Let's look. Let's look at Kenny Pickett's stats here quickly. I'm going to go to NFL.com because I haven't seen him yet to even know what his stats are. I do love that we're on the main page for rewatching the Steelers-Raiders game. But I'm looking down. I probably have to scroll down a little far because probably. So manage with me one moment while I scroll down to the game. Game details. Here we go. Bringing it up. And I will go to our stats. As it loads. My gosh, NFL.com is slow as nuts tonight. Come on, stats. Where are the stats? Stats are not showing. All right, going to highlights. Those showed. Going back to stats. Damn it, I'm going to have to go to ESPN. My gosh, stats are not even coming up. I hate going to ESPN. Kenny Pickett finds Calvin Austin for 72-yard touchdown. That's 2 weeks in a row, 70-plus yard touchdowns for our boy. Scores on ESPN. It'll be down. There it is. There's Steelers. We're going to the box score. Kenny Pickett, 16 for 28. He's over 50% for his first game ever. Over 200 yards, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, first no interception game. only 1 sack for 7 yards. That's a great game. Najee's best game, 19 yards for 65 yards on 19 carries. Najee's best game so far. Warren, 29 yards on 8 carries. Pickens was 75 yards on 4 catches. Calvin Austin, 72 yards. He only had that one big catch and another catch later. Freiermuth with a touchdown, though. Freiermuth, 3 catches, 41 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a great game for Freiermuth. That's what we need out of him. Allen Robinson did the dirty work tonight. I liked Allen Robinson and what he did. 4 catches, 24 yards. Same thing with Warren. 3 catches, 23 yards off of 4 targets. Allen Robinson caught all of his targets. He's the only receiver to catch all of his targets. Najee missed his target. Connor missed both of his targets. I don't know what the hell they were doing on that Connor freaking inside screen. It's a dumb play. No fumbles for us. DeAndre Carter had 1 fumble. They recovered. Minka, 11 tackles. 7 solo. 7 tackles for Quan, 5 solo. Holcomb had 5 tackles, 5 solo, 1 TFL. TJ Watt, 2 tackles, 2 solo, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs. Gorgeous game. Another sick game for TJ freaking Watt. Absolutely sick game. Leal had a great game. 2 tackles. I thought he had 1 behind the line of scrimmage. They didn't credit him. Joey Porter, 2 tackles. Marcus Golden, 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 behind the line of scrimmage. Keanu Benton, 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 behind the line of scrimmage. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, so Watt had 2 sacks. I thought he had 1. 5 sacks tonight for a team that hasn't let up a sack all season. That's a big game for the Steeler defense. Guys, we are on schedule to lead the league in sacks significantly. TJ Watt already at 6 in 3 games. He's at 2 sacks a game. I'm going to his stats, TJ Watt stats, because he's getting very, very close to that ultimate stat, like a 400 hitter in professional baseball, having 1 sack per game. Let's see if they have it down yet for him for tonight. They don't have it down yet. Looking at his total games played, he's to be at 90 games played. His total sacks right now are at 83 and a half in 90 games. He's getting very close to the Mendoza line of 1 sack per game, which Reggie White had for a period of time early in his career. Bray, I believe this definitely gives Matt new life. It definitely gives Matt another week going into a Houston game. Not as good of a team, but a team that put up a very gutsy effort against their division leader at their home stadium. That's why, guys, if you're ever betting on teams, if you're ever betting on eliminator pools, if you're ever betting on trying to figure out what team is going to score the most points in a week, I will tell you my rule. I never pick a divisional game, ever. I will never pick a divisional game to be an eliminator game or to win by the most points if you got a point differential for a pick 'em league or whatever, because those teams know each other so well. You never know. They can be as bad as possible. There are times when Miami was horrible and beat New England. There's times where, well, there haven't been times where Cleveland was bad and beat us, but Houston's not a great team, and they found a way to beat Jacksonville. You just never pick those games, ever. It's just, I like to always pick interdivisional games where a bad interdivisional team is playing the other team at home, a great team at home. I picked Kansas City this week. I had no idea Miami is going to go off for 70 this week. That was insane. 3rd time ever in NFL history. 1st time since the Super Bowl era has begun in 68. Last time it was 65 for the Washington Dumpster Fires. But Washington's playing much better now. Hats off to them. Other than today, they had a crap game against the Buffalo Bills. Bray, I heard the last question and couldn't let go, guys. Dude, you can stay here as long as you want. We always talk about fun stuff. I've got a unique perspective. I've got a perspective you will not hear for any other head that gets paid to do this or any other Steeler reporter. I am a free thinker. I've got so many stats in my head, and I come up with stuff on the fly. It is just the way I work, and my fans know me for that. Diamond Plate, fact the Steelers. Thank you, Diamond Plate. Welcome to the team. Please tell me what team you like. We welcome all fans. If you are a Raiders fan, we feel for you. We couldn't beat you when you were in California, but you can't beat us since you moved to Vegas. So take those stats to the casino. That's the way we are. And don't bet against the Steelers in a primetime game. Great game, Steelers. Thank you, Matt, Mark. I appreciate you. Welcome to the show. I haven't seen your name before. I am very good at remembering names. You come back, Diamond Plate, Bray. I will know you in the future. Yoder, I know you, Yoder. You've been here all season, my friend. Big win tonight. Where do the Steelers stand in the AFC North? Number 1, baby. With the Ravens losing. 2, the old Baltimore Colts. I love that win. And that was a gutsy win. I talked about that at the top of the show. First time Harbaugh lived in his fears. Didn't let Justin Tucker kick a ball in regulation or overtime inside the 50-yard line because he's money. Absolute money for those kicks. I know he was short tonight on the 1, but man, didn't even give his guy a chance. And that's going to sit in the heads of Ravens fans. It's going to sit in the heads of Ravens players. Little bit more division. You saw, if you watched that game, you saw the look that Jackson had on the sideline when his team lost on the 4th 50-plus yard kick from the other team, setting an NFL record. No more than 3 50-yard kicks ever kicked by a kicker in an NFL game. Now it's 4. Absolutely love that look off of Jackson because now there's doubt in Jackson's mind too. I love it. Absolutely love that crap. And if you guys don't know this already, it happened last week. Boz still kicking 50-plus yarders, 57-yarder tonight. Boz last week has now more 50-yard kicks in Steelers history than all of our kickers combined. Sweesom, Reed, Anderson, Norwood, Jarella, all of those great kickers combined don't have as many 50-yarders as Boz. Boz is elite. Boz would be the best kicker in the league and the division if Justin Tucker wasn't in it. Boz would be a household name if Justin Tucker wasn't in his division. We feel, just so you guys know, as far as kickers go, Steeler fans, we got 1 All-Pro out of him. The 1 year he had, I think it was 2017 killer year. But Steeler fans, now we know how Browns fans feel when they're fans of Myles Garrett over TJ Watt. Because TJ Watt is the best player in the league, let alone the division, and Myles Garrett is staring up at him. Myles Garrett has excellent stats too. His numbers are elite. Absolutely elite from the number of games played to number of sacks produced. He's top 5 all time. But he's looking up at TJ Watt. And he will for the rest of his career. Because TJ Watt is special. And Myles Garrett is a great player. But he will never be as special or have the heart that TJ Watt has. Bray's still here. I was hoping to see more Mount Washington and Nick the Quick Herbig. Dude, how about Golden getting a sack for us? Like, this is huge. Golden played both sides tonight. He's the third guy off there. He's still getting sacks. 2 weeks in a row, Golden's gotten sacks. Golden's averaging a sack every 2 sacks every 3 games. He will have double-digit sacks this year. Double-digit sacks, averaging 2 sacks every 3 games. He's doing his job. This is the best 4 outside linebackers the Steelers have ever had. Ever. Because Nick's number 4. And Nick's getting pressures when he gets in there. I love our depth. And don't diminish what Golden is doing. Because we've had so many times where our third guy, where we're going out and getting guys, bringing them over like Reed, that do nothing for us. Ingram wants to get traded because he's not a starter. If he hung on, he would have been a starter. He would have gotten better numbers, and we gotten a better payday if he hung around for that entire season with the Steelers. Instead, trade me. let me go. We did. And your career's over, pretty much. Jord, welcome to the show. Kenny looked decent when he finally had time to throw on the one drive. Be nice if that happened more often. This was Kenny's best game, by far. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He's never had more than one in a game. So Gord, you're right. I don't know. Jord, Gord, tell me how it's pronounced. I'm fine with either. Mr. Franks, Kenny's best game this season. Needs to build on it. I liked seeing Kenny's swagger after that second touchdown. And he also extended that play to get us the first down after the 2-minute warning to make sure they only had the ball back with at most 20 seconds left on the clock. Absolutely great game out of Kenny. Offense did their job. Defense was well rested. Pinned our ears back. Did what we could. Held them under 20 like we know we're going to. If we score over 20, guys, we should be winning every game. Absolutely winning every game with this defense and the amount of money we put into it. Ian, Ben Roethlisberger had a passer rating of 98.1 with 2,424 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions in 8 games versus the Raiders in his career. Tell me what that win-loss record is, Ian, because it's either 50% or it's less. Those are good numbers. They're not great numbers. Ben had trouble beating the Raiders. Absolutely tough beating. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Boz is money on the field. Absolutely. Robert, are you okay? Are you having a seizure? What's going on? I don't know what this is. Or 2U7. Is this an OU812 BC Boys album cover? I don't know. I don't speak this language. Love you, Robert. You know that. Mr. Taburo. Mr. Taburo, you've got to be here on the show giving Presley Harvin his props. Because Presley Harvin, a guy you hate, had another excellent game. Absolutely excellent game. Boz got the juice. Absolutely, Bray. Absolutely. Did Jarella ever have a 50-yard plus field goal? Let me look that up. I will look that up right now. Gorillas are here for the score. So is Franco's Army. 50-yard field goals. Holy crap. You pulled this stat out of your butt. Jarella had 1 50-yard field goal his rookie year. Oh, wait, no. He had more than that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Nope. Sorry. Nope, just 1. Rookie year, 1. He had 5 attempts his rookie year. He kicked a 50-yarder, which is his longest kick ever as a Pittsburgh Steeler. 48, 49 yards is all he had for the rest of his career. Was not a great kicker, but made 2 All-Pros, 2 Pro Bowls in 72 and 74. 1 50-yard field goal at 50 yards exactly his rookie season. He was 1 for 13 in his career for 50-yard field goals. Great call. Thank you, Mr. Franks, for that call. Great win. Speaking of kickers, I miss Josh Miller's consistency. I don't. You think he was consistent? Cowher was grabbing him by the face mask when he was inconsistent. I don't know how you forget that. Cowher got rid of him so Belichick could pick him up. Cowher did not like Miller's consistency at all. Hell, Barry was more consistent, and you hated Barry. Get your head out of your butt there, my friend. The Wizard of Boz, reliable, gets the job done. Absolutely. Most important position for consistency is punter, tied with long snapper. Consistency to be number 1 goal with center. Center's actually the biggest, and I'm with you on that. Center and long snapper, definitely. And then punter, I'll give you that too. And that's why usually the Steelers put so much priority on center. And I fully expect them to draft a center next year. Absolutely fully expect them. And he's not consistent. This is a great game for him. 2 great games in a row. And his last kick, he won it for us. Knocked that ball, kicked it so deep that the guy wasn't expecting it, muffed it. We should have had that ball. If Boykin takes out the receiver, we have that. Football game's over. We didn't need to get the interception. But timing-wise, Steelers, Tomlin already game managed that game to 12 seconds. Should have been under 20 on On a good kick, it would have been 18 seconds if he fielded it cleanly. But game management was on par to win us that game. Same thing with our punting. Same thing with our special teams. Big kicks by Boz. Absolutely great special teams. Great returns, too, by Austin. Great coverage plays, too, by our team. Yeah, Ben was 2-6 against the Raiders. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, his numbers are good. Like, I'm looking at your numbers here, Ian. Like, you look at Roethlisberger's numbers, great amount of yardage, 16 touchdowns versus 9 interceptions. You're thinking it's a majority of wins versus losses, but just like, I just knew they didn't come down to wins. When we had Ben playing in California against the California Raiders, whichever city they decided to be in that season, whether Anaheim, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, wherever they decided to be, we just couldn't beat them. Couldn't beat them. No matter how bad they were. He played down to them every time they were horrible. And that was one of my biggest problems with Ben, was them playing down to teams like the Raiders when they were absolutely god-awful. Absolutely shouldn't even be on the field with us. And they have their quarterback run for a 90-yard freaking touchdown against us. Like, absolutely mind-blowing plays that should never have happened. Absolutely just destroyed us. Great 2-game, followed by a good game, marred by a short punt, critical time after a horrible game 1. Publicly criticized Harbin for inconsistency. Yes, game 1, definitely inconsistent. Game 2, phenomenal game. This game, phenomenal game, still had one bad kick. I will agree with his second to last kick, was not on par, but his last kick was the one that mattered. Absolutely gorgeous kick and gave us the win. Had another 60-yarder in that game too, Tim Burrow, which is why we keep this guy. But he's got to be absolutely consistent. Got to get rid of those crap kicks. Sorry for – oh, yeah, no worries, dude. You know I love you. I don't care about that stuff. I'm never going to be harsh on you about that. Wallace was lame first 2 games, but Levi Wallace deserves game ball today. Absolutely agree. Great take there, Tim Burrow, on that. Wallace, we've been hard on Wallace. Me as well. Like, watching that game in Pittsburgh against the Browns, I'm like, I can't wait for them to put Joey Porter Jr. in. And they put him in on the big downs, big third down conversion. We stopped it in the first half. The last play of the game, though, he was handsy. We got the play that won it. And still, Porter deserves all the kudos on helping us win that game against a hated division rival. And now the offense is starting to get their legs. Defense is there. We played the best team in the league week 1. No question. San Francisco was a head and shoulders above us. NFC Championship team, a top 4 team in the league. We were not ready week 1. Week 2, offense was not ready. Defense was. Defense won us game 2. Game 3, offense came to play. Started putting in some drives. 5 scoring drives tonight. 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. That is better than 1 or 2. Way better than 1 or 2 drives in a game. You get 5 drives, that's enough for this team to win football games. Even if it's 15 points. We should be winning football games at 15 points. Even if they're all field goals. I don't care. Find a way to win. And we're doing it. Franks, what do you think of Tomlin taking a knee at the end of the first half? I thought it was correct call to not take any chances, especially with the way our offense played the first 2.5 games. I had a problem with it, though, Gordon. I really did. I used to track Tomlin's because a lot of people said he was a mismanager of games, terrible at 2 minutes. He was actually phenomenal at 2 minutes. Mike Tomlin knows how to properly utilize game clock, though, and he did it right at the end of the game in this half because they had the game. They got the ball under 20 seconds. Had to go the full length of the field under 20 seconds. That was a phenomenal job. But my problem at the end of the half was we got a win down on first down with that run. Najee got over 5 yards. If it's a win down, you call timeout. See what happens on second down. If you get another win down, Call timeout. See what happens on the next. Because if you got a win down on second down, it means you got a first down. That's when you take a shot because you're 20 seconds. You know the Raiders are starting with the football. Before we got Kenny Pickett, we were always going for it in these situations, down and distance. Kenny Pickett and our team, they practice 2 minutes. All training camp. That's the biggest thing is like 7 shots right there, goal line, and 2 minute drives. Absolutely should have gone for it at the end of the half. I at least wanted to see them go for second down. I was calling for a timeout. We got a win down on first down. We got 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Over 20 seconds. Got to get 40 yards. You don't know what will happen. But go conservative again. See what we get. We get a first down. Call timeout. Maybe we can call a legit play now. Maybe. And the way Boz kicks, maybe you only need 30 yards. Absolutely should have gone for it, God. In this situation. Absolutely great. Washington's blocking was horrible all year, and Freiermuth's blocking even worse. Tomlin should never have released Gentry and kept the kick returner who we never use. Blunt kick returner. Blunt kick returner we never use. Best kick returner of the preseason was McFarland. He's hurt. And if you can tell me another kicker, I want to have this discussion. I really do. I don't know which one you're talking about. I did not like keeping Gunner whatsoever. And I was calling keeping Gentry and 4 tight ends over keeping Gunner and 6 wide receivers. I wanted 5 wide receivers and 4 tight ends. I'm with you on that. Absolutely with you on that. And I'm with you on at least getting Gentry on the practice squad. I don't know why we didn't offer him practice squad spot. He went to Cincy. But we can still pick him up if something happens. That's fine. We can still pick him up on the roster if something happens. Washington flat out beat him in preseason. Washington showed him he can block as good as Gentry in the preseason and gives us more on passing downs. But we have not given Washington a chance. I did watch him because I saw him on the field the one time, 3rd quarter. I'm watching Washington this play. I want to see him block. It was a block and release. I was seeing if they're going to throw to him. They didn't, but they still got the first down. But the biggest thing is another thing that we talk about a lot, both on the Steeler Nation football forum and on the show, was this was a money play. Washington's a rookie on his rookie contract, late 3rd rounder, way cheaper than keeping Gentry in his $1 million contract. Way cheaper. Steelers saved themselves like $600,000, $700,000 on that contract choice alone on 2 players that are like this. You're going to take. So in that situation, they chose to take Washington's ceiling and contract over Gentry's ceiling and higher contract. That was an Omar Khan move, and I'm fine with that. Now, I want to see an Omar Khan move and Andy Weidel working together to find the best possible offensive coordinator they can for this team, as opposed to allowing Tomlin to keep promoting from within. That's what I want to see out of the next offensive coordinator choice for this team, to go full all in the way they did on picking head coaches and the way they went all in on picking a general manager. Took their time, interviewed tons of candidates, got the best possible choice they could on this team. They need the same thing now for offensive and defensive coordinators moving forward. We're done promoting from within. We still can. They just have to do their due diligence and interview as many possible candidates as they can to give us the best chance of having the best person in the room on being our offensive coordinator. Remember me saying Dotson was our best road grader, run blocker. Steelers O-line has missed him since they missed Gentry helping them as well. I was with you as well. Though I will still state Dotson should have been a right guard and never have been a left guard. They kept bringing in these old free agent right guards. He was an All-American at right guard in college. He played right guard all high school. I talked to him. I talked to him when we first drafted him. He's a right guard. Steelers threw him at left guard. His best PFF game ever was the game he stepped into his rookie year for DeCastro at right guard. He had a perfect game. Perfect game at right guard. He's a right guard in the NFL. And if you play him at right guard, he will be an all-pro. Pro Bowler, at least. Definitely agree with you there. Absolutely agree with you. Bentall is really good, but Fehoko should never have been kept on the practice squad. Should have been given a helmet today. Bentall. Talking about Neil, the guy you wanted to draft, the guy you actually chose for us to draft? Is that the guy, Benton? Keanu Benton? I have a problem with Benton? The guy that got a sack? I don't have a problem with Benton today. I don't. Blonde kick returner we never use instead of Gunner. Blonde kick returner. Trying to think of the blonde kick returner that we had. Blonde kick returner. Blonde. I'm having a hard time. I know we had McFarland. We had Gunner. Austin. I can't remember the blonde kick returner we had. Of the other returners that we had. I just can't recall it from preseason. Got to give me a name. Our fastest cornerback on practice squad with Gunner. 53 is stupid. King's going to be getting in these games. Love that. Love them picking up King too. That was a good move. He's getting up to speed. He'll be on this roster sooner than later. I like that King pickup a lot. Dawson right guard was the right move. As Max Starks so eloquently said last year, James Daniel was a man of the earth, meaning he's always on the ground. I love Benton and Max Starks. I do too. I love Max Starks too. People forgot Max Starks won a Super Bowl championship at 2 different positions. 2 Super Bowl wins. One at left guard, one at right guard. And we kept him on. We kept him hanging on the roster as a restricted free agent. Absolutely love the way we use that guy. Samoan, welcome to the team. Welcome to the show. First time seeing you here. You're welcome. We love Samoan players on this team. From Chris Fuamatu Malfala to Troy Polamalu, our Hall of Famer. We have Fehoko. We have some Herbigs. We have Semealu as well. We got some great Samoans on this team. Love American Samoa on this team. That call on Minka was trash. Absolutely agree 100%. Said at the top of the show that was the worst call of the game. Aside from the 2-point conversion, that was a non-catchable ball. Should never have been called a pass interference. Could have been called holding. If they called holding instead of pass interference, I could have lived with it. Not pass interference at all, ever, in any way, shape, or form. But that sack should have been a Minka sack. Absolutely perfect positioning. Glancing helmet. Should never have been called a helmet-to-helmet hit. And I'm glad you're still with us, my friend. What do you got to have to say for us? I would like to see our defense be like the LeBeau defenses of old. I don't know what you're not seeing. 3 games in a row. What was it? 3 sacks, 6 sacks, 5 sacks. 11, 12, 13. We have 14 sacks in 3 games. That's a Dick LeBeau defense. That's a Butler defense. I'll tell you that when we led the league for 5 straight years in sacks. Didn't lead it last year. We're on pace to leading it this year by a mile. Let me project this out. In 3 games, what did I say? 6, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 sacks. 14 divided by 3. It's 4.6 sacks a game. Times 17. Because we get an extra sack this year. 79 sacks. That would be a league record. 79.3. That would be an absolute league record. No team has ever had that many sacks in a season. Right now, we're on pace for 79.3 sacks. Let's see what TJ. Well, TJ's on. He's got 2 sacks per game already. He'd be on pace for 30 4 sacks, I believe. That's 17 times 2. Yep, 34 sacks would be a league record. Don't get me any wrong. Yep, Tomato. Yep, I hope you got to see him play. Jalen Warren. I didn't know Jalen Warren was Polynesian. That's a great. Thank you so much for letting me know that. That is a new thing. I was wondering why he was so tough. Love that. Yep, Samalu. We knew that one. I knew that Samalu was. Yeah, Alu was definitely Polynesian, but he's not on the team this year. I expect him to retire because he wouldn't be able to come back until October. I don't expect Alu coming back at all this year. I did not know Juju was Polynesian. Thank you for letting me know that. That is something I did not know. Max Stark said Steelers, but he did play for USC. USC players are all Polynesian. Said his Steelers would let opponents know we're running and do it anyways, dominating and desperate and dispiriting opponents D. So the year's Steelers shouldn't let that dissuade from running a lot too. We had a much better job running the football tonight. I was glad for that. And we all know the Hall of Fame. Troy Polamalu. Absolute GOAT. Oh gosh. We had the other guard that screwed up the freaking tack that led to Mendenhall sack. Is that Kamayato? Is that Kamayato? Did you say Kamayato? Yeah, Kamayato. You did say him. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Chris Kamayato. You had him. I know we have more than that too. Trying to think of the old ones. The older ones. Love Polynesian. I will have a Polynesian on this team anytime. And we had 4 returners at the start. Calvin Austin, Alfonso Graham, Darius Hagan, and Gunner. Not sure if they are all still. No. Graham and Hagan are definitely not on the roster. If you liked one of those guys over Gunner, Tamburo, I don't see how they could have gotten on the roster over him. But Austin definitely deserved to be on the team as a returner, and so did McFarland. McFarland just has to find a way to stay healthy. Jakin got that cool Polynesian look. Don't forget Max von Oelhoffen. Very good call. Very good call. A guy that took out the leg of that Bengals quarterback. Oh, gosh, what was his name? Shoot. Good quarterback, too. That was in Dalton. Man, that was the year that they won the division. Yep, yeah, we already talked about Chris Fuamatu Malafalo. That was like the first Polynesian I'll ever talk about because I love that name too, Tamburo. Absolutely love that name. Guys, that's about all we got to talk about. Oh, Carson Palmer. Thank you. Thank you, Ian. That would have driven me nuts. That's why I love us, guys. It's our show. We have fun. That's about, pretty much the show. We've been on here for how long? An hour. Just about an hour. So great show, guys. Great win. I'm going to check out the standings here quickly. If you guys want to have one more question here before we finish up, I'm going to go to NFL.com, see if the stats are in yet. See if I can refresh that and get them in. Because they show TFLs better and have better stats over here at NFL.com. Nope, they're still not on. Screw you, NFL.com. But I'm going to check out the schedule right now. Oh, sorry, standings. And I know we're number 1 in the division. 2-1. Only the Dolphins right now are 3-0. And look out. They are right now the team to beat in this conference. Bills are 2-1. Colts are 2-1. Thank you for beating the Ravens. Chiefs are 2-1, a game ahead of everybody else in the division. You're welcome for us beating the Raiders. Steelers, Ravens, Browns, 2-1. There are as many 2-1 teams in the NFC North as there are in the entire rest of the AFC. Sorry, AFC North. As there are in the rest of the AFC. Toughest division in football. But we are the only undefeated team in the division. Sorry, Ravens are undefeated as well. Sorry, they're 1-0 against Cincy. Steelers will be playing the Ravens in 2 weeks. And playing against Houston next week, I'm hoping they are playing for that top spot before going into the bye. That would be a huge win for the Steelers. If their offense is on target and hitting their touchdowns, that would be a huge, huge win. NFC has 3 undefeated teams still. 49ers, Buccaneers play Monday night. Eagles play Monday night. Eagles and Bucks are 2-0. Niners the only 3-0 team. So right now, 4 undefeated teams. And I know the 72 Dolphins do not care if their current 2023 Dolphins are undefeated. They don't GAF. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Nice. Still has some. You misunderstand me saying Gunner should not be on the roster, but have one less wide receiver and add a fast cornerback from the practice. Okay. You know, I can't disagree with that. That's a valid opinion. I have no problem if the Steelers would have chosen to keep an extra cornerback over an extra wide receiver. I just thought usually it's offense versus defense. They try to keep those the same. And I wanted them to keep the extra tight end over the extra wide receiver. I would rather have Gentry on the team than Gunner. I thought Gentry was the better value player to have on the roster than Gunner. Absolutely. And I still believe that to this day. But you have a valid point of keeping an extra corner over Gunner. I will not disagree with that. Samoa, Najee looks uncomfortable with the system. We need to fix that. He had his best game today. He had 49 yards rushing, right? I think 65 yards rushing. Easily his best game this season. Got over 50 for the first time this year. Gutted out the tough runs there at the end of the game. We controlled the clock. We put them in a situation where they only had one drive, under 20 seconds to try to beat us. And that is how you game manage and clock manage. Do that every single time. We're going to win way more than we lose. Have a good night. Striker Go Steelers. Thank you very much, Ian. And I love you, my friend. I always love talking to you. You've been an old head, both in your age and your great beard, and also being with us since the beginning. Love you, Ian. Glad to hear. Bizarre 3-way tie for first with only team not one conference champion, Bengals. Yeah, great call. That's a great take from Timburo. I do love that assessment. A 3-way tie in our division for number 1, and the Cincinnati Bengals are not one of those 3. That is an excellent, excellent take. And it was something I didn't think about until you said it. But yes, everybody was expecting the Bengals to run away with this division. We're starting to talk about now. I'm worried about Joe Burrow's health moving forward. When he hurt himself in preseason, the look of it, to me, I thought he hurt his Achilles. You don't go down like that unless your Achilles is ruptured or partially torn. Evidently, I think it was partially torn. They let him hang on in true Bengals fashion, keep forcing him out there. Now it looks like he might not even be playing this week. That's huge. That is absolutely huge, which means, like, I don't even think he has a chance. Yeah, I guess we have a chance of having all 3 here at 2-0. Yeah, because Bengals are 1-1 right now, I believe. Oh, no, they're 0-2. You're right. No chance of being tied with everybody else. That is insane. Great take, Tim Burrow. That's one of your best takes. Absolutely love it. Keep them coming, my friend. Need more quarterback speed. Have a 4-3 vet corner on practice squad. So Gunn better go smoke him. And King is up there as well. King's a burner as well. And King was an excellent. He's a starter, capable outside and slot corner. Excellent depth pick up by the Steelers. He should be rostered, and we should start dropping Lane off the roster, to tell you the truth. I think those two should swap. Nobody's going to be taking Lane. We can easily have him seated on the practice squad as well. Guys, that's all the questions. Thank you so much, guys. What a great win for the Steelers. Number 1 in the North, back at the top of the North after that devastating loss against San Francisco, after that confusing win against the Browns where the defense scored more than the offense. Multiple scores. Insane. After a huge road win where the offense is starting to get its legs. I love this, especially going up against a team like Houston week 4, already having our legs under us. We've got a chance of continuing this moving forward, my friend. Go Steelers. Guys, that's all the time we got on the post-game show with Steeler Nation Striker. Please go to SteelerNation.com. Check out our great football forum. I know Robert Tamburo He will chat with you all over the place. He's got some great, interesting perspectives as well as counter perspectives. And I always love having the counter perspectives on the shows. So go over to this football forum and engage in great conversations all week leading up to games. And also you get to see when my shows pop, because I always shoot to the forum every time my shows pop. So you know first and foremost where I'm going to be going live, because I will put it out there first. And sometimes I forget even to do it on my social media like I did tonight. But big win for the Steelers, guys. Love you all. I am Steeler Nation Striker, rooting along with you as always, including Mr. Tamburo. Go Steelers!